How you doing? I wasn't sure if I should make a vlog about this, but I figured, this was something that was kind of significant, or at least something that's been on my mind for the last kind of day. First, if you haven't already, please make sure and subscribe and click the little bell so that you can get notifications every time I make a new video. Anyway, to preface, I've done work for the past couple years on and off on film and television shows as a production assistant, or what they call a day player, which means that I'm only really called in whenever they need extra hands on particularly busy days. And I was fortunate enough to work a day on a film a few weeks ago where I met a guy working in the background department. I told him that I was interested in finding more work because a lot of it is based on, recommendations, word of mouth, who you know, that sort of a thing. And he's been sticking his neck out for me, trying to help me get on every TV show that he can find. And last week he told me about this TV show that needed a production assistant. He told me, okay, the other person that I reached out to, they're not responding, so are you sure that you can do this on Saturday? And I said, yeah, absolutely, I would love to. He said that he just wanted to make sure that I was going to do a good job so that I wouldn't kind of hurt his reputation or anything. And I told him, I said, absolutely, I will stick my neck out for you. So yesterday I went on the set and basically told to do what are called lockups. And lockups are a very basic thing that PAs do. It's basically where you make sure that people, cast or crew or pedestrians, it's my job to make sure that nobody accidentally walks in on the set. It's a relatively simple job. I've been doing it for a long time, and there's no perfect way to do that job other than to just try your best. Sometimes people will push past you. Sometimes people will not care if it's 4 a.m. like it was on my very first night being a PA. And if they screw up the shot, then it could be a hazardous situation. It could be a lot of money if the particular shot is very expensive and hard to accomplish. So yesterday there was a scene that we were filming on location. And one of the things that you should never, ever do as a production assistant is sit down. That is like golden rule number one. You have all these people who are working super hard and everybody's tired, and if they see the new guy just kind of sitting there, it looks like he's not doing anything, it makes everybody else mad, especially, and this is the fun part here, especially if you are on a lockup. So with that being said, I was sitting down and not paying attention. There was a specific set of doors. I was sitting at a bench close to those doors rather than standing at the doors because I was looking around and I saw that there were very few people in that area. So I thought, well, maybe I could just sit down and watch the doors and it'll be fine. And then, of course, you sit down, you start to, look at the monitor and see what is it that they're shooting. You find every little thing to kind of take you further and further away from that original initiative of I'm gonna sit here but I will still be vigilant. And so there was a crew member who walked up to those doors and they were rolling. He didn't actually go in, but he opened up the door. I saw him as he was walking in, but because I wasn't standing there probably 10 yards away from it, I obviously didn't look like I was there to make sure that nobody walked in. If you're not standing there to lock it up, then there's no way for you to get up and get over there in time in order to let them know, hey, actually they're rolling right now. He didn't have a radio, so he wasn't able to hear that they were rolling. He was depending on the vigilance of a PA like myself to be there to tell him. And I wasn't there to do it. I was complacent. I was lazy. I thought maybe I can just sit down. They're almost done. This is like the last shot of the day. It's probably going to be okay. Not only was it not okay, the second AD, they're very high up on the set. He happened to be sitting there, and then he got on the radio, and the first thing that he did was yell at my boss because he thought that she wasn't doing her job in placing somebody out here. And so she rushes out, she's looking around, and so I get up and I go over and I'm like, I'm so sorry. And the guy goes, that was you? Like, he was borderline livid. And I said, yes. He said, you need to be standing at your spot. And so both the key PA and one of the other higher up PAs were there for the next minute or so, and they were still rolling. And so whenever they're rolling, there's no opportunity for me to be able to say, I'm so sorry, to get that sort of relief on my part. And of course, right after they had finished that take. They wrapped. And so then she was busy kind of helping everybody get organized and, you know, break down the set. And so that way everybody can go home because it's Saturday, and anything that can prolong the length of a shoot on a Saturday is terrible because everybody wants their weekend, or at least their day. Because if it's a 6-day week, everybody relies on Sunday to be their one day. And so if you can make Saturday a little bit longer by wrapping early, then that would be ideal. And so of course, the fact that I wasn't paying attention, the fact that I took advantage of a situation that also prolonged everybody's ability to go home made me feel terrible. It wasn't even about the fact that I got caught or the fact that I got in trouble. I realized that whenever I screw up, it isn't just a reflection of my mistake. It's also a reflection of the person who put their trust in me to actually do the job. It may have reflected on my boss, and it may have reflected on the guy who had been sticking his neck out for me the entire time to recommend me in the first place. I've since talked to them both about it. They've told me, you know, it's fine, don't beat yourself up about it. But it was still something that I felt was important for me to still be cognizant about, and something that I thought maybe if there are people on this vlog watching that maybe they could benefit from it. Whenever you feel like you're in a situation where you're told to do something and you feel like you can get away with not necessarily doing something the way you were supposed to be doing it, think again, because you never know who's going to be sitting right there. You never know how situations are going to change, and if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, it can have negative consequences. And so to the people who this affected, I truly apologize, and I hope that this doesn't reflect on me, and I hope that it doesn't reflect on you to your bosses. So with that, I will talk to you guys later.